This is the dual motor electric bike by Pujh. It is a 3,000 watt electric bike sporting 26-inch fat tires, a 25 amp hour battery with a battery range up to 100 miles and a top speed of 36 miles per hour. Inside this video, we're going to be testing out this e-bike to see whether or not it is the best fast e-bike that you can buy on Amazon. In order to do that, we'll be breaking down this video into 4 main parts. We'll be starting off with the unboxing and seeing everything that's included. We'll then go through a step-by-step build out process. Thirdly, we'll do a bunch of different various tests to see whether or not this bike is any good. And then lastly, I'll wrap everything up with my final thoughts. Before we get into all of that, I must say that I was sent this to review inside this video. However, all of my thoughts and opinions are my own. And with that being said, here's the unboxing. It looks like everything is packaged nice and neatly and secure, which is always a good thing. This is what everything looks like outside of the box. Beyond the actual pieces to the bike, we get quite a few accessories, which I was surprised to see. We get things like a phone holder for the bike, a fan, an extra tire tube, a bike lock, a bike pump, and lastly, a backpack. All of that is included on top of the bike. After removing all the different packaging material, it was time to set up the bike. Setup started with installing the handlebar, which was really simple. All I had to do was loosen up some screws on the stem, remove the bracket, which was held in by 4 screws, and then add the handlebar. I then moved on to the toughest part of the install, and that is installing the front tire. After removing the placeholder, I stuck the bike on top of the tire, making sure to have the washers in the correct place, and then I tightened it down. This was by far the most difficult part, but all in all, it didn't take that long. Next, we move right along into installing the headlight and the front fender. There's a single bolt and washer that holds both of them together, and then you have to attach the 2 metal rods from the fender onto the front fork. Next, I installed some simple things like the pedals, the seat post, and the battery. Lastly, all I had to do was hook up the back fender like I did with the front fender, and then attach the rear rack with the 4 screws as well as the tail light onto the rear rack. After that, the build was complete. As far as features go, this e-bike is packed. Starting at the bottom, we have dual hub motors. Most of your e-bikes are going to come with just a rear hub motor, however, this one has one on both tires. We also get hydraulic disc brakes instead of mechanical disc brakes, full suspension with a lockable front fork, a fairly bright integrated headlight, as well as an integrated tail light. Moving up, we have the massive 25 amp hour battery that is going to be lockable, so you can remove the fairly heavy battery off of the bike if you want to lift it. We also get a rear metal rack and 2 plastic fenders, and of course a squishy adjustable seat post, and lastly a highly functional cockpit. Starting on the left, we have our button here to turn on and off the lights. That's going to simultaneously turn on the headlight as well as the tail light. Then we have our horn button. Next, we have this little button here that allows you to choose between single or dual motors. Then we have our control pad here. If I press on that button, it will turn on the LCD screen. And on here, we have a 5 battery bar status, as well as in big numbers, miles per hour. Down below, we have whether or not we are in pedal assist or throttle. We have trip, odometer, max, average, and total miles driven. You can turn down the brightness of the LCD screen by pressing this button here. And then of course, using the plus or minus buttons, you can level up the pedal assist. It goes all the way to pedal assist 5. And using the information button, you can switch between these different readings: odometer, max, average, trip. Moving on over, we have a USB-A port that you can charge your phone on, and we have our Shimano 7-speed gear system. And then lastly, a twist throttle on the right. I'm 5'11", and this is how I look on the frame of the bike. It's definitely going to be a larger frame. If you are under 5'7", this is not going to be the bike for you. Now that we've gone through all the features, let's fire it up and test it out. There are quite a few tests that I want to run through. I'm going to go ahead and start off with handling. We'll test it out on a dirt road as well as a paved bike trail. And then we'll move into things like speed in all 5 pedal assist levels. And we'll also test out acceleration and braking. One quick note is, in order to use the throttle, you have to be in at least pedal assist number 1. So we're currently in pedal assist number 1, and the throttle does work. So let's go ahead and test out handling on this dirt road. It's relatively smooth. There are a few rocks, a few bumps, but overall this full suspension is really eating up any kind of divots in this dirt road. If the single and dual motor button is not pressed in, you're just going to have the rear hub motor working, but as soon as you press on that button, both of the motors are going to be working and you'll notice a significant boost in speed. But so far, just how I thought, this is eating up all of these bumps in this road. It is extremely smooth because of that full suspension. I must say, I definitely prefer full suspension on any kind of bike. If you're going to be doing any kind of off-roading, dirt roads, gravel roads, this makes it so smooth and easy. Now I'm testing it out on a smooth bike trail and this is a breeze. It doesn't even feel like I'm riding a bike. Everything is so smooth and it handles excellent on this paved trail. We have a slight incline here and the rear hub motor definitely kicked in. Let's go ahead and turn on both motors. Oh yeah, this is a easy hill for a bike like this with this much power behind it. I didn't even have to pedal any harder than I currently was on the flat surface. Do you know that this thing has the juice to get up pretty much any hill? Now that we're on a relatively smooth surface, I want to go ahead and test out the speeds of each of the pedal assist levels. We'll start first with the throttle and then we will do pedal assist and then we will turn on both motors with the pedal assist to see how it acts. We'll start with pedal assist level 1 and using throttle only, not pedaling. We have a slight uphill here, but we are maxing out right at about 7 miles per hour, 6 or 7 miles per hour. Now, if I switch over to pedal assist, we are still maxing out right at 7 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and switch on the dual motor, see if that does anything. Nope, still maxed out right at 7. I didn't feel any kind of kick in the dual motor. We'll go ahead and switch it up to pedal assist 2. Here is throttle only. Already I'm feeling much more of a kick here. We're hitting about 13, 14 miles per hour using the throttle. Let's go ahead and switch over to pedal assist. And once again, it's going to be capped right at that 13, 14 miles per hour for pedal assist 2. I'm gonna go ahead and kick on dual motors here. And I didn't really see any kind of bump in speed, but it is definitely easier to pedal with both motors turned on. Here we go, pedal assist 3. I'm expecting pretty much the same thing from all 3 of our options here. We're starting off with throttle only, and it is going much faster than pedal assist 2. We are hitting 18 miles an hour. If I switch over to pedal assist, we are still capping out at 18 miles an hour. If I switch on dual motors, once again, it's just smooth and easy riding, not much of a boost in the speed. Now we're going into pedal assist 4. We're gonna do throttle only. This is definitely cooking here. We are hitting 22, 23, 24 miles an hour. And the same thing goes with pedal assist or using dual motors or not. Now we have pedal assist 5 here, throttle only. Let's see what kind of speed we can get on this straight stretch. And we're over 30 miles an hour and still going. We could have easily hit up to 36 to 38 miles an hour, but I was going uphill. So in perfect conditions, it would have hit that max speed. In the case that you want to go higher than 30 miles an hour, I definitely recommend having both the motors turned on. That's gonna give you that extra juice to hit that 35 to 38 miles per hour. But we definitely hit over 30, and that was pretty fast for these kind of trails. I don't think I would go much faster with these turns. So in conclusion, when it comes to speed, this e-bike is not lacking whatsoever. It is powerful. Now that we're once again on a straight stretch, I have dual motors turned on. We're going to have this up to pedal assist 5. I'm going to be doing throttle only, testing out the acceleration to see how quickly we can hit 20 miles an hour. So here we go. So we hit 20 miles an hour in about 7 to 8 seconds. That was pretty fast when it comes to acceleration. Now I want to go ahead and test out these hydraulic disc brakes. We're traveling roughly at 15 miles an hour, and I want to see how long it takes us to completely stop. So that was pretty good. That was probably roughly about 8 feet, 8 to 10 feet, give or take. And the brakes feel nice and smooth. I love having hydraulic disc brakes. It makes all the difference compared to mechanical disc brakes. And you definitely want hydraulic when it comes to something this powerful. It just quickly and easily stops, and the whole stopping process is smooth. For our trip, we did 4 miles. We didn't lose any kind of battery bars up here. They are going to be in increments of 20%. So that's great. great news that we didn't lose 20% going only 4 miles. You can expect quite a massive range with a battery that is 25 amp hours in size. So expect anywhere between 40 to 100 miles of range, depending on how fast you're going, whether or not you're using dual motors, and what pedal assist you're in. When it comes down to it, you're getting a very powerful and capable electric bike. With 3,000 watts of total power coming from the dual motors, you can expect this thing to climb pretty much any hill. It will also reach speeds way above 30 miles per hour if you're on a flat and level surface. The pros far outweigh the cons as far as I'm concerned. Pro number one has to be the speed and the power. This e-bike is unlike any other e-bike that I've currently tested. It is super powerful. It comes with massive 26 by 4 inch tires, and it has a big enough battery to go up to 100 miles in range. The second pro is that this bike looks great and it has plenty of features and accessories, including an integrated headlight and taillight, a comfortable seat, and a featured packed control panel. As far as the cons go, I can think of two. Con number one has to be that this thing is heavy. It is going to be a struggle to lift this e-bike, and to get the kind of performance that you're getting, you do have to have a heavier e-bike with bigger tires. Con number two, and this is just a personal opinion, is that I wish it had a few more integrated wires. However, it really does look clean overall. So in the end, I highly recommend getting this e-bike if you want something that's super powerful, rugged, and can go off-road on trails and handle potholes no problem. Thank you so much for watching this video review, and I hope that it helps. My name is David and I do product reviews, product comparisons, and top 5 best videos in both the home and the tech niches. If you're into that kind of stuff, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for when I release my next review.